Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video here today, and we are coming at you with how explaining firmware works in Borderlands 4. So how firmware works in Borderlands 4 is you can only equip firmware to your rep kit, you can only equip the firmware to your grenade or your heavy weapon, class mod, shield, or enhancement. And firmware also gives you a special effect. So for this build, we are using 2 airstrikes, which gives us extra splash damage, splash radius. And then we're using 2 big fists, which is extra melee damage, which just goes hard. And then we're using action fist, which is also really beneficial, which also gives extra melee damage. So firmware can only be transferred from a shield to a shield. Same with a rep kit. Firmware can only be transferred rep kit to rep kit. Um, like you say, you have a crit knife, or you have a knife or ordnance launcher that you want. You're gonna have to get a ordnance or a grenade or whatever with that firmware that you want on it to transfer it to that crit knife. If you don't have a grenade with that firmware that you want, then you will have to farm for it, which is, in my opinion, one of the most annoying things in Borderlands 4 to farm for is firmware. One of the worst items to farm for. Um, One of the worst things to farm for in the BL4. But yeah, firmware is very, very important to the end game, and it is super important. So this is so I'm gonna explain how you transfer it. So the best way that I would recommend doing this for sorting, I would recommend. So say you're coming in here, say you want to do a rough kit, I would sort by a rough kit, and then I would say I want to do trick shot, or I want to do accelerator and splash damage dealt. Say I want to do one of these. Let's say I want to take this, and you got to take this, but you can only transfer the rep kit to a rep kit. You cannot you cannot take this to a shield. It can only go to a rep kit. So say I wanted to transfer this to this. I don't really care about this firmware. You put it in here and you press F, and it'll take about 70 iridium for your firmware transfer. And then your firmware will have been transferred to the item, and now you got trick shot on your rep kit. And it works the same way with every other item. It's very, very simple. It's super duper simple, easy to use. So, like, say I wanted to take this Daddio and put it on this extra medium. All I have to do is select the shield. We have our Daddio here, and we press F. It'll do the transferring. Boom, it's transferred. Now we have Daddio on this shield. And then the same thing with enhancements and everything else. It is very, very important for you guys to be using this for your builds. I highly recommend it. So I take this enhancement. This is a enhancement I meant to get rid of. I made a wrong enhancement for a character. This is a not legit enhancement. So I want to transfer this to this, that to this. And we can like it's the same thing, works with everything else. Press F. You can expect it just to make sure double check it has on here. But now you have your action fist on your enhancement. And then you would, if you would want to do, say, you want to do, you know, you want to do a class mod, works exactly the same. So I click this one, and I'll transfer it over to this one, which I'm not going to do because I actually want to keep these class mods. Oh yeah, also, if you do want to keep the item that you are transferring over, so say you're taking a item like right here that I want to, like this item I was put in here, and I want to keep this item. I don't want to you don't want to use it for transfer. It destroys the item, so you do not want to transfer any items firmware to items anything that you want. You don't want to transfer anything that you want that just has the firmware on it because it will destroy the item and you will no longer have the item. Uh, so make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. I'll have to see you guys in the next one, and you guys enjoy this video. Peace out.